Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractible with your hosts, Mark, Bob, and Wade. This week, pet stories.
I remember the first time you told this story, I had tears in my eyes for like an hour afterward. I was laughing so hard because the thought of you having to like figure out how to even start cleaning this up.
Yeah.
And the mystery involved.
Yeah, no, I'd love for you to tell the story of how exactly you approached that. Did you have to walk on the poop floor, or did you just like, how did that start?
Thankfully, the access to the kitchen, so it's an open floor plan, so there's like no doors bridging, but the kitchen is a separate unit, and the living room and the back, like not a room, but back area was where the poop was contained. So the Roomba had only gotten that area, a part of the kitchen, and all of the living room. So there's another path to get there. So I mean, I'm literally in shock for a good 10 minutes, just looking at this, looking back at Chica, looking at the dead Roomba, looking at the poop. Like I have to, get my bearings. And thankfully, I had the foresight in this house to have a mop and a bucket. But that kind of like, me saying, oh, good, there's a mop. You don't realize how much poop water you create from having to meticulously mop up smeared poop over everywhere. And not only that, the smell, but what I was worried about is that how quickly I got used to the smell, which made me think that the nerves in my nose got burned away from the sheer quantity of poop in the air. Like I was part poop. And
That's why you have to chew your food for 5 minutes now, so you can taste again.
yeah, all my nerves got burned away in that horrible day. So like I'm going at this with bleach, right? So I got like the harshest cleaner. So I don't care about the wood anymore, like because the wood is already a lost cause if I don't get at this. So literally it's just like I would mop as much as I could, which was not as much as you think. Like before I could, that water was not good anymore. And I spent the next probably, like it was day when I started, it was bedtime when I was done. And so I spent a good 4 or 5 hours just cleaning this, and I would go through it again and again because I worried that the smell would never go away. And it still concerns me to this day that I got it to the point where I was tolerable of it, but like maybe I wouldn't know if the smell was still there. That was so much poop. And she was such a small dog at the time, but she pooped so much.
Oh, she pooped big.
She pooped big.
Why don't you try replicating it and see if you notice the smell again? Then you'll know if you're cured or not.
Oh man, I don't know. It was weird because that was the day that she stopped pooping inside and she understood the concept of pooping out.
She had to sit there and smell her own shit being smeared for hours and was like, oh my God, this is what I've done.
I mean, what does that do to a dog's brain to see that you pooped if you're a dog, but then to see this horrible robot that you don't understand what it is, take your poop and put it everywhere. It's like, oh God, no.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine the progression because she probably looked and was like, this is my house now.
Yeah.
And then the robot comes and starts in. She's like, hey, oh, he's spreading it around. Oh, cool. Wait a minute. Wait, he's spreading it everywhere. Wait, Dad's gonna come back.
Yeah.
Oh no! And like Chica's just sitting here terrified, watching this happen for however long, an hour or 2 hours, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you get home, and she's like, "Hey, I didn't do it. Never again."
Before that moment, she's watching this all happen, and as she noticed the Roomba pause in the corner, and she's looking at it, she gets a glint in her eye. She crawls up behind it. There's a lightning strike behind her. She's back illuminated. Next thing you know, the Roomba is dead in the corner. The story should be the day the Roomba was murdered. Anyway.
So we have the front porch massacre and the shitty living room massacre.
Yeah, you right about that. You right.
Imagine like if you'd called a cleaning service, you're like, hey, could you guys get someone out here to help me clean today? They show up and they open that door and there's just shit everywhere.
Yeah, you know how in movies the cleaner's always like, we've always seen worse. This is the worst thing that they've seen that they compare it to if they walked in the door.
They get home from that day, they're like, it's happened. I've officially encountered the worst home I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was shit everywhere. It was nothing but shit. In fact, the house was pristine if it weren't for the shit. But there was so much shit. And they quit their job that night.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine you on the phone with that, and you're like, no, listen, I don't even know if you want to come. Like, I'm trying to warn you. And they're like, hey, buddy,
We've seen it.
I've worked at UDF. I've worked at Jimmy John's. I've cleaned those bathrooms. Nothing can be worse than that.
You have no idea
I tried to warn you.
Thought they were fucking wrong.